It's kindred. They're Southern. Um,
No, you know what?
you
I
know,
guess that would be considered new stuff. No, like the old
that's
70s
new
Southern
stuff.
rock. So
No,
you
give
get
me
down
some
with
names.
Molly
I don't.
Hatchet. You get
Molly
down with Molly
Hatchet. Yeah.
Hatchet. You get down
That's it.
with you said
Leonard Skinner. I like
Leonard
Skinner.
Skinner. I'm not
Yeah.
a fan.
Well,
Um,
that's
what
fine.
else did we come up with? I consider the Eagles both
Tom
Southern
Petty.
rock and country.
Yeah.
Tom Petty, yeah,
Okay.
I
Tom
guess
Petty.
so.
You know.
So listen to this. Let me ask you this question real quick. How
Yeah.
long would it take for you to have to break up with your girlfriend or wife if she pooped in your bed?
Whoa, man. I would. That would probably be if it wasn't already in the works. I
Uh
think
huh.
after I wake up and I smell that or see that, I'd be definitely moving on. That would be
Like right away. It wouldn't be
right
sort of
away.
like
That's
you're
like
gonna
the
wait.
checks in the mail. You know, you're gonna only see the backside of me because you're never gonna. You know, I'm not gonna talk to you. You know, we're out of here.
Yeah, that's pretty wacky. What's going on
Yeah.
with this Johnny Depp
Oh,
Amber Heard thing, dude?
oh, is that what is that?
Oh
Johnny
my
Depp
god,
woke up to a turd in his bed.
you didn't hear that?
Yeah, I heard something, but I wasn't really
All
sure
right, so
that that
I
was
think
the
real quick,
whole.
without, I don't want to get too deep into it, but basically, the house or I don't know if a security guard or something, he was trying to get back to the house to get some of his belongings out, and the guy said, "I don't think it's a good time." And when Johnny said, "Why is it not a good time?" He said, "Hold on," and he sent him a picture of a poo poo on in the bed that apparently Miss Heard did in fact leave as a
As
sort
a
of a I don't know, as a turd in
oh
your
my,
bed.
as a, I
You're
get that's
so
got to be. There's got. I think it's got to be. I'm gonna shit on you.
no,
Wait
that's
on it. You know.
horrible.
Here, I guess that I have no. I have no other. It's got to be something psychological. She was trying to intimidate him with
That's
his
insanity. That's
with her with
insanity.
her with her little tootins.
Hey, we got folks out in Built Different group, Casually Serious from Facebook, Built Different group on Facebook. What's going on? We got the Casually Serious. One person looking at watching through the Casually Serious
Ooh,
page
what's going on, everybody?
YouTube. So I
Nice.
don't know. I guess we got a show. Let's get a show
Let's
going.
do it.
The thing is, this is that you knew at least 15 minutes ago that Ken Man was on a break and that
Yes.
Hash Brown was going to be here, and you couldn't find a way to get him into the intro just to slide a car. I don't listen. I don't
I
know
don't
enough about it to say that that couldn't have been done,
look.
but whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Casually Serious podcast. I am
Good
Bob
evening or
Riley,
good
and
morning.
crazily enough, sorry, over here we got Hash Brown filling in for the old Ken Man, who is on a vacation right now. No, he's not. He's actually at a concert. I don't want to say what concert it is because he might want to talk about it.
Legal purposes.
Yeah, he might want to talk about it when he comes back next week or the week after or whenever the hell he comes back. He comes and goes as he pleases. As we were talking about earlier, he is our free bird, so he
Yep.
does whatever the hell he wants to do. But today we're coming here to hang out and talk about how do we ingest our music, man?
Oh
And it's a,
man.
it's a very interesting conversation because when you brought it up, you came up with a couple of good topics, but this was a good one because
Yeah.
you and I and Ken Man a little bit more specifically are old enough to have been through very like we're going to talk about four or
Oh,
five different types of medium. I think we
yeah.
won't get into like the things in between like laser disc and Betamax and shit like that, but we're talking about specifically music and how you bought your music and how music has been
Yes.
massively and
Changed.
worldwidely sold and from the beginning of the game. So without further ado, like we had our intro. Thank you so much, Hashburn, for coming in and
Yeah.
hanging out, man. How's your
Hey
how's
man.
your week going so far,
Hey,
man?
everything so far so good. Watching the playoffs. I'm really happy about where everybody's doing. The Heat are going in. They won their first series. They took out the Hawks, and now now
Big
we're going to
stuff.
the Sixers, man. That's great. But man, I'm gonna tell you, man, I've just been so distracted with a lot of work, and then the little bit of media that I do intake is Johnny Depp. I feel bad for the guy, man. I feel bad for the guy, man. But when it comes to music, man, like I remember my first purchase of music, of how I even, started. I asked my mom, I'm like, may I have this? Am I permitted? And she's like, yeah, you can have it. It was a Walkman, okay, with a cassette tape. All right. And then I got two different tapes. I got, oh, there it is. Look, I had pretty much. I think it was that one almost, but it was baby
It's
blue.
the sport. This one was a sports one. And before you keep going, I want everyone to understand back in the day how badass this particular model was.
It had the
Now,
radio in it, too.
the regular Walkman was sort of flimsier, and if you happen to drop it in the bathtub, your toilet, or your pool, you were SOL. The water was getting all up in there. All right. And the awesome thing about this particular device was that they had a special little side flap. If you see where I don't know if you folks know what stop, rewind, play, and record or anything like that look like. There's a little panel there, and that flaps over. And then all of the other little places that you plug stuff in had a little rubber, basically like a little rubber seal that you pop over it. So that should anything wacky happen in your crazy 80s lifestyle, you did not have to worry about water getting all up in your Walkman. So anyway, keep going, man. I just need to. I had that shit man. Fired up, ready to go, dude.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if you look at that one, I even think it has a radio dial on the top. That's really nice, man.
That was a deluxe super.
No, you
edition.
Really that's high class, man. That's high grade. So if it was watertight too, oh man, all your tapes were safe.
That's what the sports was.
Oh, that was the best. So yeah, I had Cocktail. I don't know if you remember that stupid movie with Tom Cruise.
All
right, that was the very
I knew
first.
Somebody that was in love with that soundtrack.
Freaking Kokomo, bro. I love Kokomo.
Oh,
yeah, freaking Beach Boys, bro. Come on, what am I doing to you, right? That was in there, and there was I think there was an Elvis song in there, and there was a few other things. But
I got to give a shout out to Mrs. Douglas for having Kokomo as her incoming or her outgoing message at her house in Kendall Lakes for so many years. If I ever wanted to hear that insane song that made me want to twist my own head off, I would just merely call the Douglas residence and be treated with that wonderful Aruba, Jamaica. Oh, I want to cut you. It's horrible, but I'm glad you love it, man.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I'll tell you what, my first purchase that I was allowed to go get, it was at least the first purchase I remember going and asking to go get. Brandy, what's going on? How's it going? Thanks for coming and hanging out with TCSP as always. Brandy's always showing up and hanging out. I appreciate it so much. We appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. My very first piece of medium was a 45 record, which oddly enough, I didn't queue up a picture of a 33 and a third regular long play record, and I didn't queue up a 45 either. Whatever, dude. That's the way life is.
Everybody knows what they are, dude.
Maybe not. If you don't Google 45 and 33 and a third record. Anyway, my first purchased album with my money, which was not really my money, was a 45 by a band called Musical Youth, and the song was "Pass the Dutchie." All right, so listen. Here's the deal. And I'll tell you honestly from my heart, even though you know how much I love cannabis, as a child, I knew nothing of this. And I had no idea what they were talking about. I just thought it was fucking badass that these kids were all in a music group together and they were doing badass reggae shit. Because growing up in Miami, I was already very, very exposed to different cultures and music
stuff, a lot of different cultures.
And I loved reggae. And I loved those kids, man. And then it wasn't until I was a little older, I was like, well, shit.
It was an omen, dude. It was an omen.
It was a little bit of sense.
Yeah, it was like somebody had the crystal ball and they had giving you a little insight that you, sir, will
pass
be a bird.
The Dutchie upon the left-hand side.
I love that.
You know, and I pass it to whichever side I want to at this point. You're not going to tell me which way to pass my Dutchie.
Hey, man. Hey, listen.
The way I fucking roll.
I might just not even pass it to you. I might just hold on to it and be like,
it's COVID.
It's COVID still, man. I don't even know, man. I don't know who you are.
At Red Rocks, what we did was we just gave people their own joints. We're like, here, how about you just take this and walk away from me because I do not want to deal with it.
And good evening. Yeah.
At any rate, real quick before we keep going, don't forget to call the Casually Serious Podcast burner phone line, 786-566-1736. Tell us whatever you want.
That voice.
That's right.
I love that voice, man.
That's right. The guy comes in and does that annoying shit all the time. I want to let everybody know, too, real quick before we go further, even though we got a couple people coming and going, we are now available on Spotify video. So not only is last week's episode available right now, tonight's episode will be uploaded right after this episode airs, and you'll be able to go to Spotify and watch this. Real quick, Hash Brown, if
people can see me,
I can hear my mouth echoing in your thing. So turn whatever my voice in your head is down a little bit.
Is that maybe?
I know that Turtle Beach. Those things are like mad. They're mad sensitive, dude.
Very sensitive. It is true.
Anyway, What was I just saying? I just got sidetracked.
Oh man, it was about not passing the Dutch anymore. Man,
Oh
I lost
Lord,
it
that's
too, bro.
horrible. Wow, you suck.
We both
You
dropped. We
suck.
both
You know
dropped
what?
it. We
It
both
doesn't
dropped
even matter. It doesn't even matter. What we need to do
it.
is keep rolling. And I would say that I want to start from the very beginnings here, real quick.
All right,
So
all right.
in my life, honestly, I'm going to start from the beginning, and then I'll pass it on to
No, we
you
thought about
because
the 33 through 45s. I think that's. I'm
you
sorry.
said you said you bought that on CD, right?
No, no, no,
What'd you
no.
buy
A
it on?
cassette tape. The
A
tape.
cassette tape. All right, another one
Cassette
I didn't
tape.
fucking queue up, by the way.
Yeah. Oh
Awesome,
yeah. It's all. Everybody
sweet.
knows what they are.
I'm
You know, got to
killing it
get a
tonight.
pencil. Got to get a pencil to rewind it and fix it when it all throws up on itself.
This particular type of medium was one of the first things media I was actually exposed to.
What?
We were talking about the old 8-track tape, 8-track cassette. I think they called it a cassette as well back then, but it would be an 8-track tape.
Yeah. Oh my
And
God. Look
you
at that
had
thing.
this one. I had this one in my house. I had this one in my house as well. Kenny Rogers, the Gambler.
That's
All
a
right,
great song, dude.
so, and it was like one of those things where I had them. I didn't purchase them. It was a little bit before my time. Even though I was
Hmm.
living in that time, I wasn't purchasing music at that time. Like I said,
Right.
my first record was a 45, which is probably a couple years after that. But, I would buy it in a place like this because growing up in Miami,
Oh, Specs.
yes, I know you would love that. Growing up in Miami,
Oh
Florida,
man.
South Florida, Specs Records and Tapes was the place to go.
Yep.
It just so happens that my wife, that was her
Or
first job.
Peaches.
We know the owners of this company very well. And it wasn't until we were a little older, but they're friends of the family, and it's really cool to kind of reminisce with them. And
Oh yeah.
especially with my wife, we all grew up in the same area, so this was where we would purchase that. And some other places like this popped up too. So
Sam Goody. Yep.
if you weren't from South Florida, you probably had a Sam Goody or you had a
Yeah.
Peaches Records and
Or
Tapes,
Peaches. Or
something
Peaches.
like
Yeah.
that. But that's where you would go and sort of fumble through. And all
Hmm.
throughout the starting off in the 70s, you'd go to these record shops and you'd
That's
finger
where
through a bunch of them, and they smelled like mothballs. I know they did.
Oh yeah.
They probably smelled like jasmine incense as well. But back then in the 70s, you were getting records back from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
Oh yeah.
Like it was a whole crazy amount of vinyl that they had going on that eventually got phased out, thrown out, burnt out, whatever the
Yeah,
case may be.
it became more convenient to use something smaller, less fragile. That's what was the thing about records, man. They melted, they cracked, they get scratched. Very very fragile. But that, and then tapes, man. That's what I was in, man. That they were just, I think they were like the next step, and they sounded crisp. They were nice. They maintained. The only thing was you got to be careful with the little gears and all that. But I remember going to Specs and doing, going buy tickets for concerts and going to these places and waiting at midnight to get the first opening on Tuesdays. I think it was Tuesdays.
Oh yeah,
That
the cellar
music
door, all the cellar door tickets and stuff.
every on a Tuesday night you would go at midnight to get the whatever you wanted to get, and that was a lot of fun. And because the internet wasn't so convenient, you didn't have every song on your fingertips like today. So I don't even know how they make money anymore, man. Like I don't even know how even people even make money in music. I really don't.
Well, that's a pretty big rabbit hole that we're probably not going to have
Yeah.
enough time to fall down into. But real quick, Brandy says she doesn't remember her first music purchase, but she's got LPs, the Runaways album. Parents just don't understand. 45 in the mix. That's beautiful.
I love that.
Dirty Dave Hill, what's going on, brother? Remembers his mom listening to AC/DC and the Replacements when he was super young, but the first albums were Green Day and Soundgarden. That's pretty fucking badass.
Oh, Green Day and Soundgarden are dope.
I got eventually into cassettes. That's what I'm trying to say. I was able to live through sort of the whole beginnings, the vinyl, 8-track vinyl. Obviously, we're talking about records and vinyl and stuff like that. And in the 80s is when you were flipping through.
Oh my God, the hair.
Yeah, the hair. And look at the huge camera in the background, dude.
Oh my God, look at that thing.
Dude, this dude's holding a separate microphone for him, dude.
Yep, the boom.
Beautiful shit right there, dude.
Wow,
so that was sort of the way it was, you know what I mean? And it was the cool thing about it back then. And I understand that I'm going to start dating myself and sounding old, but the record store was a place to bump into people who listen to the same shit you listen to. somebody was walking up to you, dude, hey, are you trying to find Kiss? You trying to find, Maiden, whatever? Yeah, you like Maiden, dude. What album's your favorite? And you start talking, and you wind up making a freaking friend out of it. And
Yep.
and I understand that still can be done, and that is done still online and in all kinds of different ways. But I found that to be more of just sort of an up close and personal way to sort of find out right away what kind of person they are, or to get fucked with, or to fuck with people for their personal choices in music.
Yeah, man, it's an organic experience that only being at a record store happens. Somebody starts talking, they act like they know everything about a band, and then you show up and everything he's saying is wrong. He's got the wrong drummer's name. It's not a 3-piece band, it's a 4-piece band. And then the guy's just talking out of his ass, and you show up and put him in his place, and it's always fun. I used to love going to the record stores, picking up stuff, talking jazz, and getting tickets to concerts there. And it was different, man. Like, just the way music was consumed, man. There was you couldn't get this stuff. You had to go out and get physical, really actually have your own copy.
And like I showed you right here, this is eventually that evolved from getting these albums to getting records as well, and pushing through the CDs. When compact disc became all the rage, you started getting cassettes and LPs and stuff like that were getting phased out. And then since we were talking about the Walkman, automatically, once CDs became all the rage, then this became all the rage.
Oh, that's right. Remember the skipping? You couldn't, if you just got a bump on the car before you had to put the.
Me and Jay would run around. We would have that thing plugged into his thing, and if you had you have to pay extra $30 for the no skip technology.
Yeah, the little, and it was just 4 springs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's basically it. It floated that thing in the air. Is all that thing did. So it ran, and this is how we were consuming CD music on the go, and our massive G-Co freaking jeans, and whatever the hell you thought could accommodate that, because I damn sure wasn't walking around with that thing clipped on the outside of my person.
Oh man, you had to have a jacket.
You had to have something dude. There's no freaking way, dude. It's just not one of those things. Tammy, what's going on? Tammy says she loved going to record stores back in the day. You damn right you did. We're all cut from that cloth, the CD. I was just trying to say that we had that in Jay's car in the Buick for a while, and we were we would slam that thing around, and sometimes it would skip, and sometimes it wouldn't. But it's amazing the evolution of that, because now, basically, or not now, but after the CD, and once that sort of started falling apart, when you were able to start downloading stuff for free and burning them to CDs, then you were able to start getting these weird little devices, the Apple iPod, the iPods, and all stuff like that.
Oh my God, I forgot about that thing.
This is technically for legal purposes. This is just a stock MP3 player.
Right.
I need you to know that.
This
is just a stock MP3 player. And then now, since we are now able to not really, no one's really storing music anymore, or holding any music, or keeping any music. It's up in the air. It's up in the cloud, which means you're able to take your device and stream it to whatever Bluetooth enabled a device you have right now. So basically, we just kind of showed you that we went from going from this and jumped all the way to this. And I understand a lot of folks think that that's progress, but there's a lot of stuff that's been lost. And to me, what we can talk about that's been lost is the ability for these artists to make anything off of their created work from here on out, from a consumer perspective. Because now what happens is they sell their music to a streaming service that pays them very, very little money, based on how many times people listen to them. And they are being paid by advertising revenue that is being paid to that particular streaming service. So it's sort of and it's always been this way in the music industry. There's a bunch of hands to wash before you even get that wonderful dribble down of the dirty water that's covering you. But now it's sort of a little bit clearer who's screwing you over, and you're willingly doing that if you're wanting to make money on it. Now, the real reason this doesn't necessarily matter for music that we grew up listening to, artists we grew up listening to, that goes really anybody starting in the late 60s, 70s to about the 2000s. The reasons those people who are good and are still drawing numbers and fans are still making money is because they're able to go tour and put concerts on 100%. And go to festivals and draw the money in that way, slightly through merchandise and other things. But you have to, I'm sure you've heard a lot of remakes of old songs I just heard "Here I Go Again" from Whitesnake, a reissued version of it, because now they get to keep the masters of that. They didn't have masters. A lot of these bands didn't keep their masters from back then. So there's a lot of crazy shit attached to music right now. And I don't know. How do you listen to music? Let me ask the first of all, the comment section. How are you listening to music right now predominantly? Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people light up here.
Yeah, people talking about LimeWire and in the early 90s, they were what Sarah Berryhill said.
Sarah Berryhill. What's up? Yeah. Sarah Berryhill's in the house. What's going on? Sarah Berryhill's a freaking legend. What's going on, girl? Good to see you. My favorite time was early 90s going to Sam Goody as a teenager. Scored a parental
advisory. Nice.
So 36 Chambers, man. Let me tell you, that's another album that changed my fucking life.
Wu-Tang.
So, yeah,
that's
man,
awesome.
You gotta
love that.
Let me tell you, LimeWire.
Oh man, that's when I started stealing the music.
Well, you know, it's crazy because I actually started going to and getting music from iTunes when they were doing, it was like 99 cents a song. And then like $5 an album or some shit like that. But it would always be like one song I really, really wanted. But I always wound up still, no matter what, either getting it from LimeWire or some other service so that I could have that raw data and it wouldn't expire on me. I didn't have licensing attached to it.
Man, I'm going to tell you, I'm really lucky. I got really lucky with the way I get my music. I use Sirius XM. I use that Sirius satellite radio, and I get all my music through there. It's got all these channels. It's always on. And I got lucky because I used to be a big fan of Howard Stern. So I would listen.
Baba Boy.
Yeah, Baba Boy. I would go ahead and I would listen to it, and oh man, hold on, you got me all confused, man. Baba Booey got me all distracted.
Wait, what?
So with Sirius XM, it was great. I got it for $500. I got a lifetime membership. So other people got to pay all the time. I don't have to do that. I just pay one time, $500, and I'm good. So I'm very happy about that. So that's how I consume my music. But I'm going to tell you, when I was younger, I would have to, record stuff and put it on the tapes and like wait on the radio station and wait for them to play the song and hope the guy wouldn't talk over it because my mom wouldn't let me go buy this stuff, So I would have to go get that kind of little jerry rig, Yes. And then also when I started finally getting CDs, I used to have this big old like binder, like $3,000. All put the CDs in and put the little sleeves of the music, have the words behind it. It was so much fun going through a whole album where I don't know, my kids, they don't listen to any of that stuff, man. They have they'll listen to like 45 seconds of a song. That's it. I'm like, hey man, you don't want to hear the whole album? You don't want? They're like, nah, this is enough. I'm like, whatever. I don't understand that, man.
Quinn, Lady Vice, and Lori, thanks for commenting on emoji or whatever the hell the emoticon. I don't know what the hell they call it. Whatever you call it. Thanks for taking the time to click a button and say what's up to us. We appreciate it. Whether you like what you're seeing or not, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. And real quick, I'm going to go through these answers because I asked the comment section to say something. Dirty Dave, who's slightly on the cusp. I'm still calling Dirty Dave a young guy. Because he's a young guy, even though he's going to be like, fuck you, I'm not a young guy. I've been through some shit, Bob. You know this. But I'm saying you're a young guy because relative to me, you're a fucking young guy. But you still lived in the time where you were buying vinyl. I know you fucking were. I know you still are. So for you to say what you're saying right now is surprising, but not surprising. And I'll tell you why in a second. Brandy is saying Spotify and Pandora. And again, I don't really need to narrate this anymore because this podcast will be on Spotify and you can watch the video version of it. But Spotify and Pandora, I dig what you're saying. You still listen to CDs. Sarah Berryhill says, if it's not a CD, it's YouTube. You're old with technology. Tammy's saying YouTube is great to see videos now. Used to be MTV. So yeah, I know that we can go to YouTube and actually watch MTV videos because the little font that you see that was usually in this little area right there when it showed you the video. That little font is the same font they used on MTV. Either that or they replicated that. But there's a way to go there and kind of get that.
Remember the box? That channel, the box. Man, you call in.
We talked about that for a while, man.
Oh man, the box was the best, man.
I forgot what episode of TCSP we did, but we talked about that because we spent a lot of money on that shit. My mom got real mad, man. I was always getting Eric B and Rakim. I ain't no joke. I
Making
can
sure
go
that
on and
got
on.
played. Make sure that some stuff got played.
That's
You
great
had
that you
to.
say that though too, man,
Yeah,
because
man.
that makes a lot of sense, dude. Thank you so much, Hash Brown. Because look, I
Yeah.
have to lump that in there to the other stuff that production just didn't seem to fucking get their eyes on. Is the ability for us to not only watch videos. That was
That was a big
that's
deal.
considered how we ingest our music. For a
Yeah.
long time, we ate it video wise
Mm-hmm.
through that medium,
My
whether it
MTV
be.
Tammy brought it up, and so did Sarah. So that was really cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
appreciate that. Thank you
yeah,
so
good,
much
good
because
heads.
I really forgot about all that, and it's sort of, you know why? Because I think I take that shit for granted because it's gone now. So it
Gone.
really has
Kids
nothing
don't
to
even
do with
have
our.
that.
Well, they do, but they have it in a different way.
Way
Do you know what
watered
I
down.
mean?
Yeah, it's different.
Well,
It
there's just
is.
no place. There's a place
There's
you
not,
can go to watch them, but what it is they don't want to be fed shit. They want to watch and listen to what they want to watch, and that's our culture right now.
who?
You don't get to tell us like what
Okay.
order we put these songs in now. We fucking put that shit on shuffle now and just walk away.
Yeah,
Anger everybody.
it's amazing how like that's what we're saying. Like before, we had to do a lot of work to get our music that we wanted to experience,
Yeah.
and now it's so leisurely. That's why I don't think people pay for it because it's so abundant. It's so accessible. I feel bad. I appreciate music. Maybe that's why music's gotten shitty because there's no money in it anymore. Yeah, I don't understand.
Well,
But
no, well, yeah, maybe because if you're self-promoting yourself and you're really good at self-promotion, but your band really freaking sucks, you can do really, really well.
okay, that's true.
We know that. We know that already.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of freaking
Not a
bands out there that
shitty mouth.
suck that just did a really good job of promoting themselves. But
I think we're just old people shaking our fists at music today.
I have a bit of a justification when I'm talking about this because here's the situation. I've purchased, and most of us have, a shitload of cassette tapes, LPs, CDs, MP3s. I think Tammy just said she's still buying off of Apple, which is still a consumption of music for a fee.
Yeah.
Which salute, because you
Good.
can
We're
get all
supporting
that
the.
shit for free on Spotify.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
but at the same time, if it's still we have the option to sort of be like, we want to be able to support these artists in a higher way than we do the option to have a
Just
penny
go to
going to
concerts.
them or $2 going to them. Let's
Yeah.
give them $2 as opposed to a penny.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with
But
that.
I think that also comes with our generation, and maybe our generation being the last generation, to have a respect for that and a respect for what the artist might have gone through to create that art, and to push
Exactly.
it through a label to get it to us in a form and fashion that hopefully wasn't diluted by the time it hit our record player or CD
Oh, like
player or
yeah.
Walkman. Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. My justification is that we have all paid so much money for the physical copy for most of this music that me going and watching it for free on YouTube shouldn't really make that big of a difference, even though it is, because I'm adding to a number that is already a huge number of people not paying for music nowadays.
Yeah. And I bet I appreciate it, and I know the musicians do. You know, what I mean, I remember, spending $15 for a CD, man. You know, that was just a going rate. It was $8 for a cassette tape, and it became $12 to $15 for a CD average, unless it was a badass one, and it was like 20. And it was just the way it was, and everybody had their own little things, man. And it is just crazy, man, how it is now. And I don't know how these people make money. I just don't understand if they're ever, if it's ever going to go. It's not going to go back. There's no way it's going to go back. And when everything's digitized, people don't even have physical. Nobody even has CDs anymore. It's cluttered now. It's just cluttered.
Well, we've only got about a little bit over about a minute and a half left right now. The real truth of the matter is what happens now is bands are putting their music out for free because they know they can't sell it. And then they're going to tell you, if you want to see this music performed live, come see us on tour. And that's where they're making their money. Tickets used to be $12. They're upwards of $300, $500, $1,000 face value nowadays. So, and as someone who tries to go to 4 or 5 concerts a year and normally does average that shit adds up, and it's a little insane. But I have no problem paying that money because of the nostalgia and beauty of the music and love I have and respect for the art that I did pay for at one point in my life.
Yeah.
So,
well, live shows are the best. If people listening or watching have not been to a live show, I take the moment. Don't die.
Gotta go.
Go to do that. See the experience. See everybody. To have that many people experiencing something and enjoying it all at the same time is just such a fun time. I recommend it to anyone. Don't hesitate any longer.
Oh, well, Dirty Dave. All right, folks. Thank you so
All
much for
right,
coming
y'all.
and hanging out with us again. Thank you so much, Hash Brown, for filling
Hey,
in for
man,
old Ken
no
Man, who's
problem.
out there probably having a great time where he is. Regardless, thanks for everyone who came and hung out and
Everyone,
listened to us wax a little bit. every bun,
everyone,
and everybody
everybody's.
that came and
Hey,
hopped
happy Mother's Day.
our way. Yeah, happy Bunnies Day, dude.
Happy Bunnies.
We love you, folks. Have a good one.